under all of our noses right now that has nothing to do with the virus. It has to do with either one, political, two,
Joe
financial,
Biden's stealing delegates.
two, financial, three, who fucking knows at that point? Because those two, I mean, something's happening.
Yeah.
There's something that's going on under our nose. Look at the Epstein case. Fucking shit blew up with other stuff to try to cover it. And it's going to keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, you brought up the 9/11 thing the other day, that so much money went missing and then 9/11 hit.
On September.
No one was concerned about
No,
that.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do love these actual facts. Actual facts that you go, that's a weird fucking coincidence.
Yeah.
And is it our opportunistic government just like capitalizing on a tragedy or a moment of weakness or, like a distraction? This is happening and they go, well, fuck, we can do this. So the thing I brought up was on September 10th, I think it was Donald Rumsfeld.
Did you say September 10th?
No, that's September 10th. Yeah, by the way, this is what I sound like when I'm sober.
No, but you should do vocal exercises.
Yeah.
What did I say? The bluebird eat the bear dick? What?
The bluebird ate the bear dick.
The bluebird ate the balloon's bear dick.
The balloon's bear dick over on a beaver's balloon.
Yeah, see?
Bear hind bombastic
the beaver ate the behind.
bitches. September 10th, 2001.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We were babies.
Donald Rumsfeld says there is $2.8 billion unaccounted for, or trillion or something like that. It's crazy amount of money. Doesn't matter how much, it's way too much no matter what. And then September 11th happened. The next day, the plane that hit the Pentagon just so happened to hit the area that had all the information of where that missing money was. Kind of weird. Weird coinky dink. That's just facts. Day before, there's tons of money unaccounted for from the Iraq War. Unaccounted for. And this is, the government knows your fucking taxes and they don't know where billions of dollars are. Horseshit.
Yeah.
Total horseshit. And all of a sudden, it just so happens a plane crashes right into that part of the building. That's how the Pentagon's large. Could have hit any other part. It hit the part that had the information. And now it's gone forever. No one talks about it.
See? And so this is what I'm saying. The coronavirus is covering something much larger. The media is so fucking... Anytime the media is pumped about something happening, especially during election year, I'm sorry, there's something that you're hiding. There's 100% something going on, and we're not going to figure it out until people shut the fuck up about reporting the coronavirus.
Oh my God. Did you see the tornadoes that went through Nashville?
Oh, that was so sad. I saw that today at lunch because I saw someone pray for Nashville.
Yeah.
And they're doing a whole search and rescue team right now, but there's a lot of people that,
yeah,
it's not.
The death toll is really high for a tornado.
It was like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So it was not, they weren't able to read that that's exactly what was happening at that moment.
Yeah.
And so
it was at night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst.
So it's just so fucking awful.
I have no people who live there. Luckily, I think everyone's okay.
And we have family that live there.
Yeah.
When I say we, I mean my sister and I.
Yeah.
But yeah, the pictures
are devastating.
They're awful.
Pretty crazy.
I could never imagine. So here's that part too. Is like we talk a lot about moving to Tulsa.
Yeah.
Tulsa tornadoes do scare me. Tornadoes in general scare me.
They're scary.
Natural disasters scare me. Mm-hmm. I love a good weather show. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love when the weather puts on a beautiful display of chaos. But living through that chaos and knowing that you're safe is probably what makes me so confident in going through a chaotic moment with weather. Because at least up here, the most that's going to happen is we're going to not have power for a few days, or And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
For some reason, that's less detrimental than like something coming through and sucking everything out of our house, including our bodies. Like, it's terrifying to me. And not only that, chiggers.
Yeah.
The South, you can keep your chiggers.
Honestly, if it wasn't for those two things, I think we would have been there already.
Oh, for sure.
Because, I mean, it is nearly, I don't know, what I like out of a town. It
has
is
everything.
pretty much, it's got it dialed in.
It pretty much does. I agree with that.
It's got beautiful, it's got great weather for the most part.
I love their
If you
weather.
go there right now, you might disagree. It's kind of gray and cold, but
I love humidity. Humidity is one of my favorite things that I love about anything. Redlands can be pretty dry. Some days you would get some humid days, but it was rare.
yeah, if you got the rare monsoon or something.
Out here, pretty rare for it to be humid.
Yeah, very dry out here too.
Super dry to the point where
Arid.
anything that has polyester in it sparks fucking fires.
Yeah.
So
It is weird though. Like, it is a microclimate here because of the river and how much.
because at the beginning of the summer, that first hot day in the summer, it's humid. There's like that humid week. And then that's when all those stupid black flies come out and they eat the dogs.
Yeah, those things suck.
I hate those things.
But we did a little. We finally, the weather, it's nice enough to start hiking again. It was we were able to do it before, but it's just too uncomfortable to do it, I guess, because of the cold. But now it's like 50s. So
I just like
that was my point. Is we in such an arid place. This is essentially the edge of the desert. So we're on the edge of the desert one way, and then the other way is we keep driving towards the Rockies, basically.
yeah.
And there's a lot of moss and lush stuff all around the river
Yeah.
in a desert, basically.
So crazy.
Tons of pine trees, like
I really do.
really weird.
I think in the last, one, I really love my job. And I know I go back and forth. Sometimes I fucking hate it. But my coworkers do too.
Yeah.
So I'm realizing that there's a pattern. One of us is always doing really great. The other one slightly hates their job. The other one is bored. And then it cycles.
Just goes through that cycle.
And so it could be any of us for for those emotions in that week. But I think I'm starting to understand where that lies. So when you have these positions, like the coronavirus is really, it's making my division pretty prominent right now.
That's pretty crazy.
I have hired so many people in the last week to do so many jobs around the coronavirus as far as disinfecting goes.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing you have to take these moments and just go with it, burn it out, and then the next week you'll probably be pretty slow. Or 2 weeks after
you don't
that,
know
you'll be kind of slow. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it is crazy. Stock markets are being affected. Things are being affected all over the place from this.
Yeah. I can't believe how much people are prepping like it's Armageddon or fucking
crazy.
Y2K.
100%. So we had talked about the Y2K at the office. And I remember I was wearing this fucking pleather, like, it wasn't even pleather. It was like plastic sequence jacket. Like, it had like the sequence, and then there was like a layer of poly that like went over the sequence to make it shinier.
Were you at my house? New
No,
Year's?
we were at
The year 2000?
my dad's boss's party in Temecula, and I remember they had rented like this whole tent thing that went all around their property.
Wow.
And there was like the kids that were there that were probably like 13 and up, and then there was and I think I was the youngest. And then there was like all the adults getting smashed and then driving home with their kids in their car. So
That's how you do it.
I will say that that's another thing that I've also kind of noticed is as a generational change. A lot of people our age are opting for no kids. So my question is though, like, what happens when you have, say, 50% of our generation isn't having kids, and the other 50, and these are I just heard any numbers.
Yeah, I just heard a guy talk about this. Like, a lot of countries are actually they're starting to see a very rapid decline in the population. I think we're, as everything gets more modern, people are having. I mean, people used to have like a dozen kids, like a fucking litter of kids.
Well, I think it was more doable back in the day. Like,
no, I think you just needed bodies because you needed farm work.
Well,
you
that
needed like
too.
Okay.
But I mean, it was more doable as far as. I mean, I'm not saying the wage didn't match what the houses were going for, but you could definitely land
there was a little bit of that too.
Good job and pay for a house at like $20,000.
Yeah.
So what's happening right now, I think, especially with dogs, I'm guilty of it 100%. These dogs are my life. I have started making their food. Yeah. I'm always constantly worried if they're dying. They don't have voices. They can't tell me if they're crazy. Sick. So when something starts going awry or one of them gets a weird look in their eye, I'm like, you're sick. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And so I'm becoming like a helicopter parent over my dogs.
That's crazy.
I don't even have kids.
I know. What are we going to do when we have kids?
That's the thing. So, but it's also, you have this debt to income ratio, and that's why people aren't having kids. It's more feasible to have 2 dogs than it is to have 1 child.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's been tons of times where I'm like, I don't know if I want kids because I'm so scared of having to pay for them or having to worry about any health issues. Like, if our kid pops out with some health issues, I would not want to be able to be away from them. Like, if I had to work or anything like that to keep an income coming in.
Yeah.
That's what freaks me out. Like, and I think that's a normal fear of everyone. And I think if you're handed those cards, you figure it out and you do it. But that's the thing, your dreams and your goals die. Like, that goes on the back burner until your kid is of an age to take care of themselves. And if you have a kid that necessarily cannot take care of themselves after a certain age and you're taking care of them until they're old or until you die, mm-hmm. I mean, that whole thing goes to the wayside. Anything that you have as a goal goes to the wayside.
Yeah, I think a lot of our generation see that.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of our generation too, I mean, with the exception of the people that chose our route, there's a lot of people that chose to go to school. They have a lot of debt from going to school.
Yeah.
And some of them have a really hard time finding a position. Like, I can't tell you how many mechanical and electrical engineers I have met that are my age, sometimes like 32 is usually what it gets to. And they have been graduated for about 3 years and have not found a job that will take them because they have the lack of the experience, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because you think you would want to take these students that are new, mm-hmm. bring them into your company, shove all of your ideas and thoughts into their head.
Train them while they have a blank slate.
100%.
Instead of creating all these weird, fucked up things.
Yeah,
at other
of
companies.
Like temporary positions and contract positions mm-hmm. and like doing all of this weird stuff where they're never actually solidly with a company because they can't stay with them. And whether it's an internship or whatnot, I mean, invest that time into that person, and I guarantee you investing that 1 year into that person versus saying, hey, I'll just have them come in and do this real quick temp work that has nothing to do with their degree and then send them on their way so hopefully they can find something else. You're just making a bunch of unemployed, highly debted people mm-hmm. without a job. So it's
Oh, it's crazy. Just talking to
insane.
Dr. Jose
Yeah.
and Dr. Vanessa. They have. I'm not gonna say their business, but they told
Their debt
us
is extreme.
is if fucking crazy how much